questions about driving instruction, so I'm going to go ahead and discuss this. If you don't know, I'm a state certified instructor. I teach driver's education. Let's go ahead and get into it. Have you ever been in a crash with students? The answer is yes. We were rear-ended by a driver who was not paying attention. Obviously, in the state I'm from and the location I'm from, if someone rear-ends you, they're at fault. So we got checked out at the hospital. I was a little bit sore. Students were okay. And then the driver behind us did get a ticket. The next question, do you enjoy teaching driver's education? I really do. I've been teaching it over 23 years. It's very fulfilling, very fun. I get a chance to teach adults and teens how to drive. It's a very fun process. I take pride in teaching people how to drive. I'm hurt. I hurt myself. So we were in a little bump collision, but yeah, so I definitely I'm a little banged up. Um, Next, what is the most difficult thing for adults to learn? I would say just being patient. After about 18 or 19, you're settled in with your life. You're either going to a community college or you're getting ready to move out of the home. And you got to get your license because your parents, low key, are going to be tired of dragging you from location to location. You could do Uber or Lyft, but at the same time, the Uber and Lyft costs money and it is very expensive. So if you're looking at my type of content, I'm trying to encourage you to learn how to drive as soon as possible. I'm trying to encourage you to live your best life as soon as possible. And it takes work. So we're going to be having some classes coming on very soon. Why do car drivers have anxiety? That could be for a variety of reasons. Maybe you as a kid, you saw someone get into an accident, you were in an accident, and that trauma carries on to 15, 16, 17, and you really don't want to drive. We got rear-ended, and then my shoulder hit the dashboard, so I may have to have surgery. So that's what happened to my arm, and I'm talking about that right now. What's a difficult thing to learn? I think just driving in heavy traffic, downtown Chicago, downtown Detroit, there's a lot of pressure that comes along with teaching someone how to drive. You've got to be patient. You've got to really help people understand what to do, how to drive, how to get them support. I know it's really exciting when you get your license because it's the next step in adulthood. It's the next step thank you, I need your prayers. I have to go for an MRI maybe at the end of this week. Why do we have aggressive drivers? I think people are in a hurry to learn how to drive. I think people leave late. And the number one reason why people speed is because they are late to work. If you're late, you're going to speed. If you wait till the night before to put gas in your car, get your clothes ready, you're going to wait till the last second, you're going to wake up late, you're going to get your food late, you're going to get your coffee late, you're going to put gas in your car. It's going to make you late. Then you're going to be speeding, cutting in and out of traffic, trying to get to work. Next, parents must make more time to help you. It's a family thing, right? A lot of parents, as soon as you turn 15 or 16, they're like, I'm done. You've already graduated. You're on your own. You need that parental support. You need that caregiver support. So whoever is in your household, your guardian, they need to support you. Even if you're 25 or 26, mom, dad, is this job a good job for me to take? Well, son or daughter, it's on the other side of the city. Gas costs a lot of money. Your car isn't running that good. You got to be willing to accept help, right? And get better. Why don't teens want to drive? Possibly because of post-COVID, Uber and Lyft. They're not really interested in driving. I can't tell you how many times I've taught 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds. Everyone has a little bit of a different reason why they don't want to drive. But the reason is very personal. I think the first reason is driver's education is very expensive, anywhere from $350 to $500. It varies from state to state, province to province. A lot of people are waiting till they turn 18. And when you turn 18, you can get your TIP. That's your temporary instruction permit. Then you can practice with someone over 21. You practice for 30 days. You look at my videos. Thank you. That really means a lot to me. That you like my videos. I make them for you. I am a real life instructor. I am truly banged up a little bit because of the accident that we got reared in. But I wanted to, tell you that you've got to persevere. What is the best age to learn how to drive? There's no best age. When you're ready to get out there, it could be 16, it could be 21, it could be 27, it could be 36, it could be 56. It depends on the person. If you had a large family and your caregivers take you everywhere, there's no really need to drive. If you're a foreigner from a different country, if you live in New York, you might not even need to learn how to drive because the population is so dense there and you have to park your car. Parking spots are a lot of money. Here's another question. Do people drive really understand how hard it is? No. People are kind of selfish sometimes. There are really kind drivers out there, but I think if you show kindness, you get kindness. If you are road raging, people will snap on you and road rage back. If you're courteous and use your blinker and do a good job, people will be the same way. Why, why class, why does driver's ed cost so much? Insurance for the driver's ed car, gasoline, endorsements. Typically, we drive anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per drive. I spend upwards of $45 to $55 per day if I'm driving 8 hours or 10 hours. In the summer, there's a high demand for driver's education, so if I were you, I would try to get in now. Classes are small. Do research on the driver's education near you. If you're over 18, you're going to have to get to the DMV, take that knowledge test. You've got to pass a knowledge test, then you pay your money. I think here in my state is $21 for the TIP. You're going to have to look it up and find out how much it costs. Then you at least have a step. You can't drive illegally. A lot of teens and adults drive illegally. And then if you get into an accident, that's going to mess you up. Do you enjoy in car or in class? I enjoy both. I like teaching students because I want to be responsible for their learning. I love teaching them in the car, teaching you how to parallel park, make right turns, make left turns. I can only use one hand because I'm kind of banged up. You've got to really build that relationship with your students. Good drivers and instructors are patient. They're kind. They listen to you. They tell you in advance, hey, I need you to make a right turn up here at the light. Then I need you to get over to the left lane. They tell you ahead of time, right? What do you think would happen if you wait to learn how to drive? It's just going to be a little bit harder. Your life will be more complex. You might be working. You might take an Uber or Lyft to work in the morning, and then maybe you have to babysit on the weekend. You might have a child yourself. So you have to fit driver's ed into your schedule. When daily after I take the test to pass. Okay, so when you get your TIP, okay, so if you're over 18, you go to the DMV. You take a knowledge test. It's usually 21 or 25 questions. You pass the test. Then you show them your identification, whatever you need. Then you get your TIP. It's a temporary license. It's good for 30 days, 45 days. Then you need to be driving with someone who is a licensed driver, learning how to make right turns, learning how to make left turns, learning how to make lane changes, how to park. In the state I'm from, we have a parallel parking maneuver, a reverse back-end park, and a stop line. You have to park first. If you don't pass the parking, you don't go onto the road. So you have to know how to do these things. And if you practice and look at my content and subscribe, you're going to get notifications. And I try to give you in-car best practices. I go over different test questions because I am an instructor. And I take pride in giving you and educating you about what's going on, okay? What do you think would happen? At 28, your life is, the longer you wait, the more complex life gets, right? If you're in your 20s, you got a job, you are hopefully moved out of the home. You have to make time. So an instructor might come over, you might get 4 or 5 private lessons, then you go take your test. Everyone is different. Backing does take time. I suggest backing into your driveway, taking your time, and really looking over your shoulder. You got to cover your brake. What do you do on the first drive? The first drive, we talk about the safety in the car. I show you how to get into the vehicle. We use a right foot only. Here in America, 90% of the cars are automatic. We were in the UK, it would be a manual. We'll be driving on the left side. The steering wheel will be on the right. We work on parking the first drive. We go into neighborhoods. We make 12 right turns, 12 left turns. We work on really good speed control. I want to see you really get comfortable with the vehicle. I want you to ask questions, and I always try to communicate with my students. Guys, I want to say I appreciate you. These are some of the questions that I've gotten, and I do have more. And so if a car is ahead of you and you don't see the car, you want to lift your foot off the brake, kind of survey the situation. You want to look ahead. Sometimes drivers hit the gas too hard, your car's moving too hard. I call it have good speed, have good space, and have a smile. If this brought you value and you're not already subscribed, you need to subscribe. You need to look over my content. Every day I'll come on 10 or 15 minutes, do a little daily class to keep you guys going, but I'm in the process of putting those online classes together and rolling that forward. So be patient with me, and I'll be coming up with a podcast. And I would love to have you guys on there so we can talk and educate the whole community. I want to say thank you. How do you drive through curves? You go in slow to the curve, and then you accelerate out of the curve. A lot of beginning drivers go too fast in, the car goes out to the left, and you end up losing control. Your road tester won't tell you that. If you have a brother or sister who's in their late 20s or 30s, they might drive fast. Usually 25, 26, 27, you might have a child, you might have a car seat in the back, or your child is 4, 5, or 6. It depends on the family situation. So you've got to get your practice. And if your mom and dad aren't willing or don't have the time, you better talk to your uncle. You better talk to your auntie, someone who's in your family. Parallel parking can be hard if you learn the wrong way. You've got to, I can't raise my right hand up. You've got to reverse, this is your car, you got to reverse back at a 45 angle, turn your wheel all the way to the right. The rear of the car will go into the right, the front will swing out to the left, then you turn back the other way. I have some good in-car videos of reverse parallel parking. If you want me to make some more, just leave some comments. I do read the comments every day. I do reply. So let me know what you need to do. I will definitely create more content for you because I care if this is bringing you value. Give it a thumbs up. I only have one like. The more likes we have, the algorithm will push it out. And I am a state certified. How do you get over your fear going on the highway? You need to go on during off-peak hours. Late in the evening is good. On the weekend is nice. You've got to have someone who is patient with you. If you have someone screaming at you, hurry up, go, push the gas, you're going to shut down. You're not going to want to elevate, right? No one needs anyone screaming at them. And if you have a person who's screaming at you, you're like, I'm done, bro. I don't want to drive. Okay, you'll pull over the side on the expressway. So you got to have someone who's caring, who's understanding, who's willing to help you. Okay, drive during off-peak hours. The weekends and the mornings are good. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock p.m. are good to get your practice merging on and accelerating out to the first lane. The hardest thing is accelerating, picking up your speed. Okay, set that goal. Okay, set that goal for March, and I will do everything I can to help you, give you tips, tricks, best practice. I just want to say thank you guys. I do appreciate you, and give it a thumbs up, share, leave some comments. Bye.